President Trump pledges big-time tariffs against some major trade partners. Now farmers brace for retaliatory tariffs in return.
People were concerned, justifiably so, about tariffs.
We'll hear from the state ag director on why Nebraska may be more prepared for tariffs this time, but why some are concerned about the possibility of another trade war.
He's kind of out of nowhere.
Plus reaction to President-elect Donald Trump's surprise choice for Secretary of Agriculture. Later, we'll meet the newest member of the Nebraska Extension crop team in central Nebraska. Giving thanks this Thanksgiving weekend, it's time to grow. Farm and ranch leaders look forward to a new administration in Washington, where the president-elect's choice to lead the U.S. Department of Agriculture catching many by surprise. Welcome to NTV News. I'm Steve White. The U.S. Department of Agriculture spends hundreds of billions, not only working with farmers and ranchers, but food and nutrition programs. And the president-elect's choice catching folks by surprise. The president-elect has nominated Brooke Rollins to lead the USDA. The names that were in the running are well known to ag leaders. Rollins appears to be a surprise choice.
He's kind of out of nowhere, but she sounds like one that's got some good grassroots experience in agriculture, and we look forward to working with her.
Rollins brings a background in policy, running a think tank focused on the economy, healthcare, and education. It's not clear how familiar she is with major initiatives at the USDA, but Rollins claims Texas farm roots growing up with 4-H and FFA. More than anything, Midwest ag leaders expect this administration to be friendly to their concerns.
Friendlier tone towards production agriculture as it stands today.
The USDA has offices across rural Nebraska and touches urban Americans through nutrition programs. The future of those programs is in question as the Farm Bill has expired and Congress has so far failed to act.
They're going to go ahead and punt it till next year once Congress gets reseated and everything shakes out. They're just going to go out and have an extension with it. I think that will happen for sure in this lame duck session.
Farmers expect a change in tone.
Really commit to growing agriculture in our country, not just sustaining it, not just putting small fixes in.
Corn growers hope to see less emphasis on electric vehicles and more talk of ethanol, as President Trump has supported higher blends year-round.
And let's make it law. Let's codify it and get it to be available to everyone year-round nationwide.
Meanwhile, Nebraska ag leaders would like to see some folks with Midwest farm roots serving in some key roles in this Trump administration. And one name that's been floated, no surprise, Greg Ibaugh of Sumner.
Greg Ibaugh did a great job when he was Director of Agriculture in Nebraska, and he did a great job as an undersecretary before for President Trump. And it would be fantastic to see somebody like that from Nebraska in a role where they could truly make a difference for trade.
Mark McHarg of Nebraska Farm Bureau says the Midwest is the breadbasket of the world, and he too would like to see someone with Midwest farm roots in key positions. Ag leaders gathering here in Lincoln to talk about growing the state through livestock.
Great partnership we have with livestock. Without livestock, corn does not have the home that it necessarily needs, and so as part of the Golden Triangle, corn, ethanol, livestock, we're great to partner with them.
The incoming president providing new details on his America First agenda, and already folks in Nebraska's biggest industry bracing for impact.
10,540.
The corn Michael Dibbern harvests is a global crop. It may travel the world or be fed to cattle that will end up as burgers across the globe. Trade is critical, but this corn grower doesn't know what the Trump administration's policies will do this time.
It's unknown. There's so many unknowns. It was unknown the last time. Some crazy things happened.
The president-elect on his social media platform blaming Mexico and Canada for drugs and crime. Trump says one of his first executive orders will be a 25% tariff on all products coming from our neighbors, also our largest trade partners. Economists agree tariffs will result in higher prices for consumers.
So it's sort of a short-term burst of excitement for U.S. companies who say, hey, we can compete a lot better against foreign companies if we don't have to pay these tariffs, and they do. And if we get tax breaks, that's even better for us. But long-term, we have to pay for all those things, and a lot of it comes back on the consumer.
And agriculture is often the first industry targeted in return. Economists at Wells Fargo in a recent report writing, quote, higher tariffs on U.S. imports under the Trump administration may result in retaliatory tariffs from our trading partners, putting agricultural exports at risk. State economies that rely more heavily on agriculture may be disproportionately affected, including the Dakotas, Nebraska, and Iowa. Nebraska's state ag director says farmers and ranchers are justifiably concerned about tariffs.
But we have also worked very hard in Nebraska over the last years to diversify our markets and not be so reliant on one trading partner. So in the event of these tariffs, Nebraska should be more insulated.
Trump also says he will add an additional 10% tariff on China. A National Corn Growers analysis finds corn and soybean farmers would suffer from an immediate drop in exports, while Brazil and Argentina would quickly capture that market, creating long-term harm for American producers. Corn growers like Michael Dibburn remain optimistic they will be welcomed by this administration and welcome dialogue.
We're going to keep telling our story down in Washington and do what we can in that.
Say it ain't so, it's our final crop progress reports of the year. Of course, there are still some scattered fields still to pick, but corn and soybean harvest mostly wrapped up by Halloween this year, and there's not much left this Thanksgiving weekend. We continue to see shortages in soil moisture, but things have improved a bit. Winter wheat rates mostly good to fair. Sorghum harvest has reached 95%. Pasture and range rates mostly very poor to poor. The USDA will resume weekly crop progress reports in April. We're visiting with our newest member of the Extension crop team in Central Nebraska, Talon Mues. You're joining us to tell folks about yourself and what counties you're going to be serving.
Yeah, thanks, Steve. I'm the new water and cropping system instructor. I cover Dawson, Buffalo, and Hall counties, so Grand Island to Gothenburg along the interstate. That's my area, covering all problems and issues that growers may have with their water systems or cropping systems. And so my background is in crop protection. I did my master's in plant pathology and my undergrad there at UNL in agronomy. And so I've been focusing a lot on kind of the agronomic practices of the area. I have huge interests in irrigation systems and crop protection, like I said. So.
Well, we have disease and insect pressure. We're certainly irrigated. It sounds like you've got a good background that when producers call and say, hey, what's this? I'm seeing some weird spots on my leaf. Well, come out and help me figure this out. You're going to be ready to take those calls then.
Yeah, definitely. I'm looking forward to getting to meet everybody in my region and really looking forward to helping out. And so in any way that I can. And we've got a great team at the Dawson County office where I'm based and they're in Lexington, and I'm really looking forward to meeting everybody and getting involved in the community.
So you said you've been working towards a master's in plant pathology, so people probably have some familiarity with some folks at the state. Who have you been working on? Who have you been learning under that?
Yeah, so I've been focusing with my master's under Dr. Tamara Jackson-Zims. She is the extension specialist for plant pathology.
So if somebody sent something into the lab, her and her team have probably done some work on that, haven't they?
Yeah, definitely. So she's right there in the plant and pest diagnostic clinic. If you're ever sending in samples, that's who kind of takes it over, and she focuses it on corn, while we've got a couple other extension specialists in there, like Kyle Broderick, who runs the plant and pest diagnostic clinic, as well as Dylan Mangel, the new soybean pathologist. He started a couple years ago and is still making connections, and both great resources. They're both extremely involved with their crops and their regions of study. So.
Well, I think Extension is a great resource, and you must be excited just to join the team and be in those counties you're talking about. There's some tremendous farm ground and some great growers to work with.
Yeah, I'm super excited. I can't wait to meet everybody, and I'm looking forward to the coming years. So.
Well, nice to meet you, and we'll look forward to catching up with you in the future.
Thank you.
Always recording what he's doing on the farm, it seems. Up next, we'll meet the farmer turned YouTuber, the Millennial Farmer.